Long time no see, everybody. It's like Sony listened to us, I swear. What was it? Just Friday night, me and this gentleman over here, Peter from Bearded Movie Guy. Peter, go ahead and say hello before we get started.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I stepped on your damn opening again. Go ahead, do it again.
No, it's good. No, I said that's it. That's all you need. Hi.
Yeah, so we were, what, Friday? Friday we were talking about it?
Thursday. No, Thursday.
Yeah,
It was
it was within the last week where we said Ghostbusters really needs something yesterday. They need something to get going. And sure enough, here it is. They pump out trailer number 2, which the only Sony property that comes out this week. Listen, I don't know if they were releasing it just to release it, but usually when they release trailers, they put it on something that's coming out that week.
Yeah.
This week it's Angry Birds from Sony. Which you laugh and you think, oh my god, that doesn't make any sense for something like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But maybe after seeing it, maybe that's what they're shooting for, is like dumb humor and like a genuine family comedy. Like
it doesn't look scary in any way. Like my daughters, I showed it to them and they actually said, like I said, Dad, do you want to see that now? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, really? And they said, well, they did a much better job on this trailer. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's nothing that like there was no spookiness or anything like that to them. They just thought it looked funny. So
well, the opening 10 seconds felt almost right. Like, I mean,
yeah.
It's funny, we talked about this. If you go check the last show business we did, we were talking about how Ghostbusters, they need to change it up somehow, somewhere, even if they're lying.
Yeah.
Change it up. And they did. They sort of made it kind of ominous, kind of dark. But then they had the goddamn stupid punchline at the end where it was just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what did you think with that? Like with the beginning, at least.
The beginning was much. Like I think it's like this is the joke. Oh, it's gonna be dark. Oh, but no, it's like for your women, I think you'd be fine. It's like, oh, thanks. It's like, and it's just like, oh, okay, all right, and it's just oh yeah, no, you'd be all right. It's like, oh, thank you, okay. And it's like, okay, so you were gonna change the tone, but no, it's the same tone. That was just the joke. So yeah.
And they carried over the mosh pit, the thing.
Yeah.
That was from the international trailer where she jumps in the crowd.
She jumps in the thing. Although this time she says stuff when she lands. Because
I thought she said that in the international one where she says, I don't know if it was a female thing or a race
really?
thing, but I'm pissed.
I don't remember it being in the international. I just remember her saying, okay, I'm pissed. But
oh, really?
I don't remember that. She might have. Okay. Yeah, it was just, to me, I literally, it was funny. I looked at my wife and went, she just landed with full force on a proton pack. I'm just like, that thing should have exploded and she'd be dead. It's like, because I'm like, that lady doesn't look like she weighs 90 pounds. Like, I'm not saying she's fat by any stretch because I'm a big guy. But she probably dumped 150 pounds on the pack and it didn't even explode. So I'm like, that's nice. I'm like, yeah, it's a comedy. It's fun.
Yeah.
It has to make sense.
There's some stuff that, like, I mean, it's clear. It's clear that it's along the lines of Melissa McCarthy / not all Paul Feig stuff is like that, but Wiig.
A lot of it seems like it's going that way.
There's that one thing where they're like pulling her and she's holding on to a table and she's pulling it. And I'm just like, no, what is that? That's no. Oh, that literally is like any other stupid comedy. Like,
yeah.
Well, they gave us a bit more with Hemsworth.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It like, I don't know. There's a scene where like he becomes possessed, and I don't know what it is, but the ghost effects look like shit as far as I'm concerned. Like none of them looked good. Not one single one. Like Slimer looked freaking terrible.
I thought he actually looked the best out of all of them.
Well, no, he did, but he still looked terrible compared to the original Slimer. Like,
why not practical?
30 plus years ago, it looked better than what it's looking right now. There's this, I don't know, it's like this, what's the word I want? It's like
shitty,
but no, the glow that's coming off them is pastel. There seems to be a pastel glow coming off every ghost in the trailer, like very pastel-y, like light, like I don't know, soft colors and stuff. Like it looks like they've like literally gone over everything with pastel like crayons and stuff. And it's like, and then when he gets possessed, he goes like this, and like a blue,
that blue dust comes off his arm.
Yeah, like pastel-y looking dust comes off his arms, and then he does wheelies down the street. It's like, okay, what the? I'm like, and then she's like, come inside. I'm like, well, could he not get possessed inside? it's like, you mean if he slipped inside the station, he wasn't going to get possessed? He would have been fine. It's like, wow, okay. All right.
Yeah. I liked the ghost hood ornament.
Yeah, that was cute.
That's nothing. I'll give that a good old check mark for whatever the hell
that's. Like, yeah, that was kind of cool.
And then I don't know if it's the Marshmallow Man.
No, it's not. I think it's the Ghostbusters logo.
But why was his face all burning?
Because I guess they were doing something to him with their proton packs, I'm guessing.
I really hope you're right. I hope it. Listen, at this stage, they're fucking our grandfather in front of us. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
It's.
But you know, it could be their version of Stay Puft, and
I seriously
nothing we could do about
Marshmallow Man. It's like literally, there's no reason for like if it's like you said before, where they're acting like the other Ghostbusters didn't exist, then there's no reason for Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It doesn't have to be there at all. There's like calling back to that. Like it looks like part of it does. I'll be honest, part of it does look like they're trying to do something different. Because like even like with the equipment, they have like that thing that looks like a trap that looks
like a bear trap, but
it's like for ghosts. And there's like one scene with Melissa McCarthy where she's literally punching a ghost. It looks like she has like brass knuckles on, but they're for ghosts. And I'm just like, as much as I hate that, like the idea, I'm like, well, at least if they're going a different route, you know, it's like, okay, so it's like they have different technology they're doing. Because it's like, I'm just like, why is she punching a ghost? That just looks stupid. But at the same time, I'm like, well, at least they're not just like following it note for note from the original, if they're pretending the original exists. But then if they put Stay Puft in, then it's just like, oh yeah, all that original crap we just thought we were doing, now we put Stay Puft in just because we put Stay Puft in. And it's just like, why would you put Stay Puft Marshmallow in? You can have your giant ghost looking thing. That wouldn't bother me. Like if it looks like the ornament, like kind of thing.
You're right. He does look like the logo. It looks like the Ghostbusters logo.
Yeah.
Whatever they do with that, movies for Miles. He's not sure. He's not too sure about it. Hey, Caleb. It definitely isn't his most anticipated film.
No,
I don't even think. Well, the problem is I don't understand, like, PG-13 and R seem to be so far apart.
Yeah.
Like, so far this feels PG.
Yeah, it does feel incredibly PG. Like, if it's PG-13, I'm like, what's going to make it PG-13? Like, is it literally language? Because like we said about like even Major League the other night when we were talking about that, it's like the only thing that made Major League restricted was the fact that they said the F word so much.
Yeah.
It's like for its time. Same with some other comedies I've watched that from the 80s and stuff in the early 90s. It's like, this is restricted. And it's like, this is restricted only because they said the F word that many times.
Right.
It's like, you take the F word out of it, this is a PG movie. And it's like, and nowadays it would be, like they would have lost a lot of the F-bombs and thrown in with other words anyways, but it's just like it's just the language. So I'm like, what would make, from what I've seen, this is a PG movie. This is not. This should not be PG-13. They haven't done any sex humor so far that they've shown.
No real violence.
There's no violence. It's like
it's like cartoony violence.
Yeah,
really
like I said, she punches a ghost, so it's like, and then you got the one lady with the ghost on her shoulders, where she's like, okay, I'm gonna go home now. It's like, it seems incredibly PG, and if that's the case, okay, it's fine. But
all right, so you brought up that scene where shit, I forgot her name. The black woman, I forgot her name.
I don't know her name. I don't know her name or the white chick, the glasses, the name. I only know Melissa McCarthy, and I know Kristen
McKinnon. I know her last name is McKinnon, the blonde one, because she's on it. They're both on SNL, but I know the blonde one.
I don't watch SNL, so
that's the only reason I know her. She does Justin Bieber. Really good at it. Movies from Miles. The whole movie seems unnecessary to me. Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm actually gonna touch on something that just defies sense altogether. That scene where she's got this big like green dragon thing. They're in a concert,
sitting on her,
and nobody's moving.
Nobody's
moving. It's a ghost. It's ginormous.
Yeah.
She's kind of scared. She wants to walk away, but the whole crowd is just.
And then the one person takes a selfie with it. Which was the only thing I kind of thought was funny, even in a stupid way. I was just like, "Oh, look, you took a selfie. Yeah, that's kind of humorous." Didn't make me laugh, but it was just like, yeah, someone would be stupid enough to take a selfie. Yep, I could see that. It's like, but yeah, everyone's just standing there watching it.
Right?
Are you kidding me? People would be freaked out and running away.
Exactly. You think? Listen, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep comparing it to the original Ghostbusters. You take that, and then you look at, give me any of the ghosts in the original. Hell, Slimer in the fucking library. People are scrambling. The woman that works there, she calls them, and then the guys like just make sure you get them out of there when they're in like the ballroom or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that comes across a ghost is fucking horrified.
Yeah.
And here's a concert full of people where they're just like.
They're watching a woman walk with a giant pterodactyl-looking ghost. Again, why does the ghost look like a pterodactyl? Was it seriously the ghost of a pterodactyl? What is the point of that? It's like,
it's colorful.
And again, it looks very. I don't understand the pastel color palette they've gone with, but okay. It's like it looks like shit to me, but okay. It's like, but it's like no one's moving. Everyone's just standing there watching it. And it's like, listen, I've been to concerts. No one's that quiet at a concert.
Right.
And you're going to get that many people in the room, and not one of them's going to go, like even one.
Yeah, just one random guy, like, wait, I'm out of here.
Yeah, where they're just like in the middle of the thing and they see it and they just freak out and scream and then try and push through everyone. That would happen. Regardless of everyone else's calm. That would happen. One dude or one girl would be like, and then freak out.
Right.
And everyone just stands there and watches her, and like except the selfie stick person. And it's like, and even then she's just like, are you serious? And she just keeps on walking. And I'm just like, oh, what's the it looks like from I have yet to see, now correct me if I'm wrong, I've yet to see a trap other than that thing that goes like that. I've yet to see a trap like they have in Ghostbusters, like where it's like you bring them down into the trap to seal them up, to save, like to put them in. I haven't seen any of those. Like everything I've seen where they shoot the ghosts like get hurt and but I haven't seen them catch one yet. Like, so I have yet to see a scene where it's like in the original Ghostbusters, again, we're going to compare forever. So tough luck if you don't like that. But the scene where they're running with the cords with
it's all
three
smoking.
traps. Yeah, they're all smoking and stuff. And they're like, out of the way. It's like, I haven't seen one single trap in all their gear. So I'm like, what are they doing with the ghosts? Are they killing them? Like, are they, does the proton pack disintegrate them? Like, what do they do with them?
Right.
Exactly.
The major conflict of the original was ghosts are terrorizing New York.
Yeah.
Here are the 4 people that are going to save the day. They're going to go get them.
Yeah.
Here it's just, hey, ghosts.
Yeah, ghosts seem to be here. This is cool.
Like what? First rule of filmmaking: conflict. Where's the conflict? What?
Well, apparently, if you listen to the thing, she says someone has built a machine or something that is making the paranormal energies, enhancing them or making them worse or something like that. So it's like someone is bringing more ghosts and making more. So it's like mystery. It's because it's like not what Ghostbusters is about.
Say that all again. Repeat that whole sentence.
Sorry.
No, it's not you.
No, the thing is they're great. So it's like they talk in the trailer about the fact that someone is empowering the ghosts to make them more powerful and attract them and crap. And so like, oh, so it's a mystery. It's like, is this like a mystery?
The guy who did it.
We got to find someone who did this and stop him, because it's like, and is that person a ghost, or is that person like a dude who just loves ghosts, who wants? It's like, oh, so it's like now you're trying to stop a guy that is bringing about like a ghost apocalypse, where it's just he wants more and more ghosts, and it's just like, where are they going with this? And it's like, I don't know. It's like I said, like, and you just see a bunch of ghosts coming at them. Like, where like one's a dragon. Like, the ghosts in Ghostbusters all seem to make sense to me. Like, even Slimer. Yes, Slimer doesn't, like, you'd say, well, what's Slimer look like? Well, he looks like, at least he's a little disembodied thing, right? Like, he doesn't look like a prehistoric animal. He doesn't look like, it's like all the ghosts I remember seeing, like, you could be like, yeah, that looked like it would be a ghost. That looks like it would be a ghost. That makes sense. Oh, that guy looks like a zombie-ish kind of guy, like the guy who drives the cab. In the original Ghostbusters, like, comes up through the tailpipe and then like looks like a zombie. They all look like ghosts. They all look like none of them look like animals and dragons and it seems weird. Like, you know, it's like she's got a pterodactyl sitting on her shoulders, and it's just like, why does it look like a pterodactyl? If it's a ghost of a person, why does it look like a pterodactyl? And because it's what the ghosts are supposed to be. And it's like, oh, so it's, are we talking about like prehistoric ghosts now? Or I don't know. It's just, everything about this is wrong. I don't know. I don't know any way to say it. Everything about it just irks me in so many ways.
Movies from Miles. It feels like Hotel Transylvania 2, how everybody loves monsters and aren't scared of them.
Yeah.
I just checked. Feel really, get ready to get depressed here. The 1984 Ghostbusters was PG.
Yeah. Well, no, because I don't think
they didn't have PG-13 back then.
They didn't have PG-13 yet.
It was an R.
So they had a choice. They had to make it work. And I'm sure if they were allowed to throw some more language in there, they would have, being who was writing it and stuff and who was in it. Like, I'm sure if they could have, but they were like, oh, we need to get a PG rating because we don't want a rated R because that's going to kill half the audience.
My point is, they did what they did for a PG rating, and we have this circus, and it, like, you could be pseudo scary, like you could have tone. There's nothing wrong with tone.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with like suggestion. And here it's like you said, like these bright colors, these animals, like I forgot I didn't even think about the cab that you talked about, where the smoke goes into the tailpipe and then it's like a zombie driving the cab. Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of like, it's
still kind of scary if you're a kid.
Right. Like damn it, you can have it for everybody. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. But again, like I said, if they're throwing it on the front of Angry Birds, then maybe Sony's saying, listen, we don't care about you adults. We're hoping that some dumb 8-year-old kid's going to want to see this.
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah.
Why are they going to take something like that could have been good for everybody and just polarize it like that?
Dumbing it down enough that it's for kids. The parents are going to have to sit there and watch. Like, and okay, like, I think for movie, like fans of the original are gonna have a hard time watching this movie, as far as I'm concerned. If you're like an actual fan of the original, like if you're someone who's like, oh yeah, I remember Ghostbusters, but then you're like, oh yeah, what were the names of the Ghostbusters? And they're just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like those people aren't gonna have a problem with this movie. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember Ghostbusters. But for someone like me who can literally name like Ray Stantz, Peter Venkman, it's like, like Winston Zedmore, Egon Spangler. I can name all freaking. It's like I can name them all. It's like because I grew up with that and I love that movie and I've seen it. I don't know how many times to be truthful. I just know I've seen it a lot, and I bought it on every format that it has been released in. I had it on VHS. I had it on DVD. I had it on Blu-ray. So it's like I have it on Blu-ray now. So it's just like, and whenever they get the next one where it's just a chip you put in your head, and you sit there and you just like watch the movie and you just like sit in a chair and it's in your eyes.
I've got to update my chip. Excuse me.
I will buy that shit too because I love Ghostbusters, right? So, but. It's like, so for fans like me, it's going to be a problem. It's going to like, this is, but for people who just like, oh yeah, I remember Ghostbusters. Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, it was quite fun. Yeah. It's not going to bother them too much because they only have like, vague memories of it and crap like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for movie fans, like movie fans of it, it's going to be a problem. And they're gonna have to see it because their kids want to see it. Like I said, my daughters now watched the second trailer, and they were firmly against it the first trailer, and they watched it this time and went, "Oh yeah, no, I'll see that now."
Huh?
And I'm just like, I was like, really?
Wow.
And they're like, no, it looks like they've done a better job in the trailer, and I'm like, yeah, but still,
that doesn't mean anything.
I'm like, look at the movie. Do you really want to see that? And they're like, it looks funny. It looks silly, Okay, I'll see that. And it's just like, oh. So, yeah.
So, I've thrown up for.
Yeah, I saw this.
Judging by, like, it's not looking good. I mean, if you look at the like-dislike ratio, again, it's at least 3 dislikes for every 1 like on trailer 2 even of Ghostbusters. So what I did was I took a Melissa McCarthy movie, which is recent. So it's the most recent thing we have, which is The Boss, which just recently came out. Spy, which is a Paul Feig, Melissa McCarthy thing.
Yeah.
Their best work together, which is Bridesmaids, which features 2 of them. And Pixels, which was supposed to be a big deal last year. Yeah. Nobody wanted it, and it came and went. Oddly enough, Sony made that as well.
Yeah.
So interestingly, the best, the most successful here opened at number 2. The Boss came in at number 1, Spy came in at number 1, Bridesmaids 2, Pixels 2. Weeks in the top 3, Bridesmaids was only up in the top 3 for 2 weeks. Pixels opened at number 2, and then it was out of the top 3.
Yeah.
Spy stuck around the longest.
But it still didn't make nearly
right
as much money. So
if you look at all of their opening weekends, none of them crack 30.
Yeah.
The final domestic there on the bottom, The Boss. So what happens with The Boss is basically half of the money was made on opening weekend.
Yeah.
Spy, it really did well. So, that's another. And Bridesmaids did really well. Your head's
Bridesmaids, but Bridesmaids was kind of like, that was before anyone who knew, like, I'll be honest, who knew who Melissa McCarthy,
right,
and Kristen Wiig really were, in that sense. I didn't know who they were. It was funny because someone eventually said, "Well, that's the girl from Gilmore Girls," and I was like, "Which girl are we talking about here?" And they're like,
"What?"
And it's like, she's in Gilmore Girls. And it's it's like she's the cook, and I'm like, oh. And now I was never a huge Gilmore Girls fan, but I was like, my buddy is my best friend is like the biggest Gilmore Girls fan, and he loves them and has bought like them on DVD and all that stuff. He has the complete set, and so I have seen a bunch of episodes, and I was like, oh yeah, Suki is her name or whatever. She's like the chef that works for the main character, and I was just like, okay. And I'm like, oh, that's her? I'm like, I had no clue. I'm like, it's, you know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, no one knew who she was back then, realistically. I didn't know who Kristen Wiig was. I only knew Maya Randolph or Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph, sure.
From one movie, which was Away We Go, which is brilliant.
I love that movie.
Love that movie. Love that movie. And I was like, oh, it's like, she was the only one I knew. I was like, it's the Away We Go girl. I didn't know Rose Byrne. Didn't know her at that point. So like, I didn't know like most of that cast, and I think a lot of people didn't. And so it was kind of one of those things where it was like, hey, a bunch of funny people made a movie that was funny, and it lived, like it made money because it was funny, and it didn't bank on any of those names.
Yeah.
Not one of those names were like, oh, I'm going to go see this because Melissa McCarthy's in it. No one knew who Melissa McCarthy was. She was like the woman in it who was like awkward and took like 17 puppies home from the thing, and like, you know, it was like she was funny. It's like, but the whole movie didn't rely on her being funny. It was just like she had her funny parts, and everyone had their part to play. Same with Chris, what's the name? Chris O'Dowd, who played the cop.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Scottish cop guy. He's funny. He's really fun. That's the first time I'd ever seen him before too. And I was just like, you know, I'd seen him in a bunch of stuff since, but it's just that movie.
You're right though. You are right.
It made money because it wasn't relying on anyone's star power. It was relying on, hey, we got a really funny story here, and it won through word of mouth. People just kept on watching it.
I think it's going to be like either The Boss or Pixels as far as money is concerned. It's going to make a brunt of the money opening weekend.
Yes.
And I really hope for its sake that they make a lot up front, because here's the second part of this sad story if you're Sony Pictures. Is all right, so the week before Ghostbusters, you have The Secret Life of Pets, which could hypothetically be killer. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be a great film, but it could be one of those films that literally just like makes 300 million, no problem. Right. It could be like the sleeper Despicable Me of this summer. Yeah. So with that being said, Ghostbusters might not even ever come in number one. Yeah, there's a chance that, like, because if Secret Life of Pets is as good as it could, like, I've only seen one trailer for it. It looked cute. Okay. But if it's like Despicable Me, which that movie, like, no one thought it was going to do anything, and it did massive. Same with like there's a couple animated films that people like literally were like, oh yeah, this looks cute, and then it like made like $200 million plus. If it's anything like that, its second weekend it might make more than its first, because it's going to be word of mouth. People are going to be like, hey, have you seen Secret Life of Pets? Take your kids to see it. It's really fun. And then Ghostbusters will come out, and the people who really want to see it, and the train wreck people, will see it. And then by the second week, most of the train wreck people will have dropped off. And dude, I'm telling you, it might be really worse than that. Star Trek 3, holy crap, and the Ice Age. Dude, like especially like, listen, if they're going the kid route, first of all, the leftovers from Secret Lives of Pets could kill it on the front end. On the front, if it really is going to be like focused at kids, on the back end, you got Ice Age the week after. Like, they could be in some serious fucking shit here. And then you got Star Trek, which will get all the geeks and all the and all the people who just like actiony movies, because they're like, you know, up until then there isn't anything really. So it's like, hey, the people that should want to see Ghostbusters are gonna watch Star Trek the next week. Like and then you got Jason Bourne, so there's no chance you're gonna be in, like, you know. Ghostbusters is gonna be a shit show. Like, I'm looking here. You look, Secret Life of Pets, Ghostbusters, Star Trek 3, Ice Age. There's a chance Ghostbusters opens at 2, and then by July 22nd is in 5th place. Yeah, I was gonna say it may drop to like 4th or 5th. Like, dude, it could be a shit show for that movie. Do we know how much Ghostbusters cost? Ooh, if you got a story to tell, I can look. Has it been, you know, once upon a time in Ghostbusters land? Well, no, it's okay. Talking. Here's my little story, because I'll announce it to the people who are watching, like the one person.
if they don't know, I ran out of Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, when I was a kid because I was a big scaredy pants, and I ran out of Ghostbusters at the scene where Louis Tully, again, I know his name because I'm a Ghostbusters geek, says, "Who brought the dog?" And the big thing jumps out of his apartment and chases him down to the restaurant. And he's like, "Maybe I got a milk bone." I was when the thing was chasing him, I got afraid, I'll be honest, and freaked out and left. And I didn't see it that night. I didn't finish it. Now, I'm a big boy now, so I can say this. No, I literally freaked out. And then, of course, all my friends, including my sister, who did stay, were like, stupid kid. They told me how awesome it was. And I, of course, missed the Marshmallow Man and all that stuff. And so the next day I begged my parents and they took me back. My dad, being awesome, took me back and let me watch it again. And as long as I promised I wasn't going to run out. And I sat there and I did I still, even that scene was like, I don't like this, but I'm like, whatever. And I made it through the scene. And I've loved Ghostbusters ever since. So yeah, there's my Ghostbusters story.
Here's what I'll say. Now that you bought me time,
yep,
I'm gonna say there's it may break even worldwide.
Worldwide, wow.
So go ahead, try to guess what the budget is.
Worldwide, wow.
It's I'm telling you, I will bet 5 Blu-rays that it does not make its budget domestically.
Yeah, if it makes it domestically, I'll be amazed. Okay, so that much talent. Assuming everyone took real paychecks, it's got to be. I don't know if it's over 100, but it's got to be like 80. Is it around 80?
Keep going, buddy.
Really, it's over 80.
By almost double.
Get out! It's like 150.
154.
That's the budget for this movie. Is that including
154?
That's probably not including promotional.
Oh, probably not. Probably not.
That's not including trailers and promotion. 155. How those ghosts look like shit. Whoever they paid.
They're not making 8-9 figures on that movie domestic. They're not making 100
It's got to be one of the worst movies ever made, and it gets so much word of mouth that people have to see it. That that's the only way. Because I think if it's just good, there's no way it's making that back. Definitely not domestically. It's not if it makes it back worldwide. I could see people in certain countries China seems to love stupid stuff, and I don't understand why, because Chinese people seem to be pretty smart in general. But they seem to love these stuff that makes zero crap over here. You throw in China, and like Transformers movies. Transformers movies make so much money in China, and I'm just like,
and that's why you can't predict worldwide anymore, because it's like you said, Transformers they make their budget back plus just over in China, so it's just
in China.
All right, so congratulations, you're now making movies for China
it's like exclusively because it's like you'll make your budget back there, you won't make it here. Wow, 155.
Dude, they're not cracking 100.
Holy! If they crack 100, I'll be amazed. Because if they be the only movie out for the month, they may crack 100. But going against a kids movie, and then they're kind of being a kids movie,
and then a rough weekend after that,
and then right after that you got Star Trek and a kids movie that is a 5th one. Now I'll grant it, I've seen the last Ice Age and it wasn't that good in any way, but the kids don't care. Right. So it's and okay.
Minions
tell a story. Let me tell a story for 10 seconds. Look up what Ice Age 4 made at the box office.
Made?
Yeah. What was its box office domestically?
Okay.
But yeah, you got Star Trek, which other than the geeks, you're gonna have a lot of people who like that, man. Star Trek, Chris Pine and all those people, they've developed a following. It's the 3rd film. And so that's going to make decent.
Oh my God.
Okay, what did it make?
Domestic. Well, hold on. Here's foreign. 715.
Holy crap!
And domestic was 161.
161. So they made more than the budget of Ghostbusters for a movie that probably did not cost nearly to make.
Do I have the budget? 95 million. 95 million to make Isolation.
Really? To make a lot of that's voice talent, because by the time it's like the fourth movie and you're making bank, Ray Romano and them could be like, okay, we give us we want this much. I can see that.
Nearly 900 million worldwide.
Wow.
They're in so much trouble.
So Ghostbusters going against a film that's the fifth one, has a built-in audience, and a third film which has a built-in audience. And then the week after that has Jason Bourne, which is the fifth film of the series, which is a return of Matt Damon. So if it did stick around, it was gone anyways. Yeah, it's screwed.
I would say, you know what? There's a chance if they've shown us something, we've seen nothing. Like that's why I threw that Pixels number up there. It reminds me a lot of the way we were with Pixels a couple months back or last year. Yeah. It's so everything about what's going on with Ghostbusters feels just like it did with Pixels.
Yeah, it does. Because you had a cast that, like, half of the cast seemed good, half the cast seemed played out at this point. Like Melissa McCarthy, at this point, like, I think she's funny, can be funny, but like her last bunch of films have been like just kind of the same character over and over again, and people I think they got fatigue, like there's superhero fatigue. I think there's, I'll be honest, I think there's some Melissa McCarthy fatigue. Fatigue.
And going with the Boss too, because if you look at the Boss weekend,
the Boss,
30 million, then it only makes 60. Like, ouch.
Yeah, that's low numbers for what they would be thinking would probably make over 100 million easily. So yeah, there's definitely fatigue for her out there, and then like I said, the trailer being like both trailers being pretty unpositive. Like this trailer was better. Like I can't say it's not.
Oh yeah,
but it still didn't do anything for me. Like it's like yes, this piece of crap looks better than this piece of crap. It's like well, that's impressive. Your crap looks better than that crap, but it's still crap. It's like
and it's like they needed to fix like some of the hokiness.
Yeah, I think you're lying, like when you were like they should lie and totally make this look like a different film. I think you're right. They should have made that first 10 seconds. They should have made the entire trailer. They should have made like a 45-second trailer that cut together tight like that. Yeah. It looked more like adult with just the right cutting of the right scenes, and like it would have been a complete lie, but
you would have got somebody pumped up.
You would have got some people pumped up going, wow, I guess I was wrong about this. And then they would have gone to the theater and gone, crap, man, they got me. I wasn't wrong. This it's like they got my money. I can guarantee you this, although I review movies on YouTube and you review movies on YouTube, I will not be going to see this movie opening night. What day does this movie open on? What's the
15th? 15th of July.
Of July. So my daughters are not in school, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'll be waiting to the Tuesday where it's $5 or whatever it is, $7 or $8, whatever it is on the Tuesday now. I will be waiting to see this movie on the Tuesday, and like I will see this movie because my daughters want to see it.
There will be massive intrigue in China, so you might be able to download it on Saturday.
On the Saturday, maybe we'll just go, hey, let's just watch it at home. No, I don't do that. Internet, I don't do that. Don't come to my house and try and steal me. I don't steal Ghostbusters. I love America.
We have a fun comment here. Ghostbusters is more of a true story than a movie. Prepare for the gates of hell to be opened, brought to you by your loyal Satanists. That is a comment in the chat.
Oblate Spheroid?
Sure.
Cool. That's a neat name.
I mean, it is an absolute train wreck.
Are they talking about the new one or the original?
Yeah, because the original probably focused more on that type of outcome.
On that aspect. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. man, see, like that's funny. Like, and what bothers me is if you like scramble up time and forget it. If you release that movie today, it's still
funny. Like,
I guarantee you, if you release next summer, if you release the original Ghostbusters in theater, it'll make more money.
yeah.
They literally just like, if I guarantee that if this one had never existed, this new one, and they just released the original one in theaters, which they own everything for anyways, so it would cost them a dime to do. Like literally, it'd be like, oh, we just got to get the film prints, and it's like, they would make so much more
hard
money.
drive, not even print anymore. It's cheaper now. They put them on hard drives.
Literally, send the file, whatever. I don't care. It would make more money because I'll be honest. If they released Ghostbusters, proper Bill Murray Ghostbusters in theaters, especially if they released it like a big theater where like they give you, if they did the Hateful Eight thing where they gave you a program and crap, I would pay $15 a ticket.
Yeah.
And take my daughters and my wife.
Dude, I saw Home Alone like that.
You were saying
6 months ago.
It's like, so if they did that, I would pay money to see that. But no, they're releasing this thing which costs $155 million.
I understand, like, with comedy, like there's, it gets stale because people like use the jokes, like, stuff like Happy Gilmore. It's not funny anymore because so many people use those jokes, and it's tired. Yep. But there are the few that actually still work.
Oh yeah.
And I think the stuff that works, like Nobody Steps on a Church in My Town, like
nobody steps on a church. Maybe we've been going over this all wrong. Mr. Staples the sailor, he's in town for a few days. We get him laid. We're all so many funny lines from the original.
Oh, I mean, and Rick Moranis, like his whole everything. Yeah. Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
Yes, have some. It's like, I recorded the 20-minute workout, but then I recorded it like 5 times faster, so then I get.
Like, all these like nonsensical stories.
I got a great workout. I only did it 7 minutes. It's like, you put the TV on, and I decided, you know what I did? I turned my TV on real loud, and then I went out on the ledge, but I could, it's like, oh, Jesus, brilliant.
What's the story about inviting people to the business associates to the party?
Oh, for me?
Well, if you seem to have a lot of it memorized, I wanted to see.
No, where he's talking to me. He's like, yeah, that's why I invited for business associates and for friends because I could write the whole thing off here. This salmon I got for 25 pounds a pound is like Canadian. I brought it. Did you get me Tylenol? No, I got acetaminophen. It's a good deal. You get 250 tablets of the generic.
Dude, you know the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
I got generic acetaminophen. That's hysterical.
Like I said, dude, I'm a fan of the movie. I don't know how many times I've seen it. Oh my
God, man! I like that stuff. Like I want to know, but he says it so fast and it's so gibberishy. It's just like, what is he saying? That's hysterical.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, like dude, that's still fucking kills.
Oh, man. It is. It totally is. It's still fun. Okay, we brought the dog. It's so funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, isn't he like running away and he starts complaining or something like?
He's like, I gotta bring this up at the next tenants meeting. There shouldn't be any pets.
Come on, man. How do you not just rewrite it? Just fucking copy the script and just say
I would be much more comfortable with a literal scene-for-scene remake.
Yeah.
With a modern cast, even if they change Venkman.
Do the Psycho it. Just fucking Gus Van Sant.
As much as and I've seen Psycho. I've seen the Vince Vaughn Psycho, and I'm just fine. Like, it's unnecessary, but it's
unnecessary, fine. But it's fine.
But it's fine. Like he did a good job as Norman Bates. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I would have been much more fine with a scene-for-scene remake. And even if you put Venkman as a woman, I would have been fine as a scene. Flipped it so that like instead of make Dana a guy. It's like I still would have been fine with this. It wouldn't have bothered me. But what they've done is just so fucking bad, and it's just like I said, for someone who's like, oh, I remember Ghostbusters. Yeah, there's like the 3 guys, and it's like, it's not going to bother them. But for someone like me, it bothers me huge because it's just like. You've taken someone I love and you just shit all over it.
Yeah, and
took $155 shit all over.
I'm curious to see what Melissa McCarthy's going to do when shit hits the fan, because you have again, I forgot her name, the black female from SNL.
Yeah, again, I don't know.
Kind of loud and overexertive and like stereotypical angry black woman. where she's the loud one of the group.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like Melissa McCarthy's thing and all of her other stuff.
Yeah.
When she hits the fan, Melissa McCarthy isn't. Who is she supposed to be? Ray?
Yeah.
Stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah. I did watch. I don't know if you've watched. I watched the Jeremy Johns. He did a talk about the trailer. And he does this little thing where he's like, why does the black one have to be the uneducated one? He's like, why? Like, you're gonna have 4 of them, and you're gonna make a remake, and you're gonna make them women. Why not have like the uneducated one be one of the white girls? And if you're gonna have the black lady, why don't make her one of the smarter, educated ones? What's wrong? Like, why can't you have that? And he does a whole joke about it where the guy in the studio would be like, ha ha ha, very funny, we can't possibly do that. It's like, but it's true. I'm like, why couldn't you have her, or if you if that's what that lady's shtick is, just like Melissa McCarthy's shtick is Melissa McCarthy's shtick. Yeah. If that, cast a different actress. There are funny black actors. Maya Rudolph, or have her be one of the other characters. So have her be the Ray character. It's like, why does the black one have to be? It's like, why does the white one have to be this, and why does the black one? You could have had her. You could have had Melissa McCarthy's character be the one who comes off the street. Right. That would have made more sense in a lot of ways.
The words that are coming out of your mouth right now, the black one, the white one, that's the problem. It shouldn't have, you shouldn't notice.
Yeah. No, I know.
Stereotypes
but they're gonna do
of whatever. Just have it be a black guy, a white guy.
Oh, yeah.
But, that she's the black one because she's doing, stereotypical
stuff.
Loud, angry black woman. And it's just, fucking cut that shit out and, just
again, I would have had no problem. I would have had no problem if it's not the. It's funny because it's not the women angle that everyone's like, well, it's the woman thing. You don't like. No, it's not the. I don't.
It's the stupidity.
I don't honestly care that they recast it all with women. It's interesting choice, but okay, fine. I don't care. I care that what you're doing with the characters. So it wouldn't have bothered me one bit if you would have had an Asian one, a black one, a white one,
an alien one,
I don't care, and I'm not trying to it's race is just white, black, Asian, whatever. Right. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It wouldn't have bothered me if there'd been 2 black ladies and a white lady and an Asian lady, and they made the Asian lady loud, or made not loud, but made the Asian one the one that's more street smart than book smart.
Right.
So if you're going by the characters, having the one black lady be the Peter Venkman character, the one black lady be the Egon character, the one Chinese lady or the white lady be the Ray character, and the I seriously wouldn't have bothered me. But you know what? It is we've talked about the fact that originally casting in the original Ghostbusters, Eddie Murphy was supposed to play the role of Winston Zeddemore. He was originally cast for that. And he turned it down. He was the first person they asked.
Who?
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, I didn't know that. I think you said that last time, actually.
Yeah. And so he turned it down to go do Beverly Hills Cop, which I think was a smart move.
Can you imagine Ghostbusters with Eddie Murphy in
that? No, it would have been a different film altogether, because I like the fact that they brought in, and my mind just went blank, and I feel terrible, Ernie Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that Ernie Hudson isn't a loud mouth, fast talking. He doesn't have any stereotypes as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but Eddie Murphy, I have to go back and watch 48 Hours again. I'm trying to think around then. I mean, I think he was good.
Oh, he was great. I think he had too much star power for the role.
Maybe.
It's all of a sudden, so you have so it's doing a movie nowadays, right? And
yeah,
so
you might be right. You might be right.
You have three kind of stars, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the movie, you have a completely bigger star who's, as much as I love, what's his name? Bill Murray is my favorite actor of all time. He's not as charismatic as Eddie Murphy, right? Ooh, so you bring in not as charismatic as Eddie Murphy. I just watched Beverly Hills Cop, and for he's so charismatic and talks fast.
But dude, that card scene, even with.
Oh yeah, but that's not charismatic in the same way. Where he comes in, and that's more timing and just okay, what does it think?
If you think, all right, charisma is like, if you're a female, you'd want to fuck them. That's
okay.
part of charisma.
Okay, I'm thinking more like
Energy.
yeah, like energy, like
Okay.
charisma, like energy, like Eddie Murphy was a fast talking guy back in the '80s. Like picture him in Beverly Hills Cop. A lot of time he'd come in and just be like, "Hold on, I got this.
Yeah,
Where's my thing?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, trading places and things like that too. Yeah.
And so if you put that kind of character in the middle, all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, he's like a big star. And it was just like, so having Ernie Hudson come in, who I didn't know who Ernie Hudson was back then, and he's been a solid actor since then, but he's never been a star. Yeah. But he played much more of I'm a working guy that just needs a job, and it literally
really unnoticed role in Hand That Rocks the Cradle, where maybe could have been up for an Oscar. Maybe.
Never saw it.
Oh, he plays a mentally challenged guy who.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, really all right role.
Like, he's a good actor, don't get me wrong, by any stretch.
A subdued Forrest Gump, if you will. Very subdued Forrest Gump.
I'll have to check that movie out.
Because
I've always liked him as an actor, but he's never been like, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, he never sticks out there, right?
No, right? It's like, so when he came in, he was exactly what I think they needed for that role. They needed a guy who came in as well. And it was funny because there was no, how do I say this without coming off as racist in any way? Blackisms of stereotypes.
Oh, yeah, he was just a guy.
He was just a guy that needed a job. There was never one instant where he's like, well, it's because I'm black. And I'm like, no, he never did that. It was purely just, his character just was the guy who wanted a job. He could have been Asian. He could have been black. He could have been white. So why couldn't it have been this way, the same way for the casting of the new movie? Why did it have to be the black lady was the loud one when it's like, the black lady could have been the smart one. The black lady could have been that. It's like the Asian lady that they didn't cast could have been, there's so many ways they could have gone, but they went so stereotyped. And I hate stereotypes, but it's like, I understand they exist and, people play into them and all this stuff. And they can be funny, but it's just like, I think it's just, it goes to the writing. When they went to write this, they went, okay, let's try and be as generic and across the board. And instead of making our characters smart and believable, let's make them just
on top of that, they even go against it. They go they use stereotypes when it works for what they want to do. Because if you're going to go stereotype route, the smartest one should be nerdy and tame and quiet, right? Then what the fuck is Kristen Wiig doing, grasping onto a table, being that if she's the smartest one, she's a fucking idiot in that trailer. That doesn't make any sense if you're just going strictly on stereotypes.
The problem is okay, other than the fact that she's black, right? If she had been white, as I wouldn't know who is supposed to be who exactly from the original Ghostbusters. Now, like you said, they at first they were like, oh, this is within the Ghostbusters world, and then they immediately changed that crap. But that's not going to stop us comparing them. So I don't know which one of them is supposed to be Peter Venkman. I have no clue who's supposed to be Ray Stantz. I don't know which one's supposed to be Egon. I honestly, other than the fact that the one girl's wearing glasses and seems nerdy, I'm like, oh, so that's your Egon?
I don't think so. I think if anything, she's the Peter, and Kristen Wiig is the Egon.
Is Kristen
Wiig? The blonde is Peter.
Although in that case, though, you haven't seen her do anything, and really, it's like
she's the one who's wigs. I thought that was a funny line, to be honest with you.
Oh, it looked funny.
Kind of got buried,
but it's just like, if she's supposed to be Peter Venkman, it's like, are you really?
I'm not saying she's supposed to be Peter Venkman.
No. But that's what,
like him. Yeah.
You compare them, and you're like, which ones? I have no. So again, with that. Why did you have to make the black one be the uneducated one? Because I don't know who's supposed to be who if you're not making it. I don't know. It's just,
dude, it's bad.
It annoys me on so many freaking levels. And if I'd never seen the original Ghostbusters, maybe it'd be different. And maybe that's what they're counting on. And it is funny. I found my friend on Facebook. He's a pastor. And he was doing a junior youth group thing. So kids who are grade 7, 8. And not one of them, so these are kids who are between the ages of probably of 11 and 13. Okay? Not one of them had ever heard of Seinfeld. Like, at all. They had no clue what Seinfeld, when he's like, Seinfeld, and they all went, what's Seinfeld? And all of them. And then I said it to my daughters, and both of them went, what's Seinfeld? Now, I'm not the biggest Seinfeld fan in the world, but like, I know who Seinfeld is. I've seen episodes. None of them knew, and my daughters didn't know, right? So I'm like, maybe they're banking on the fact that kids won't, like most kids, like again, my daughters are way different. They've seen movies that most kids have never seen before. But like most kids won't have known that what Ghostbusters is, right? So it's like, because this is a 30-year-old freaking movie, or more, longer. I don't even know how old. When did it come out? 84?
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, it came out in 84.
Yeah, 84.
So, doing the math, which I'm not good at.
It's 32 years.
32 years. So, if they don't know what Seinfeld is, right? Like the average 13-year-old and under doesn't know what Seinfeld is. Seinfeld was not 32 years ago. Ghostbusters, the average 13-year-old and under has no clue. They've never seen the original Ghostbusters. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's just they're playing to the 13-year-olds and under because it's just like, this just looks like a fun, stupid movie. And like I said, my daughters even said, yeah, okay, that trailer looked better. I'll see it now. So if that's if that's like what they're, maybe this is it. They're like, fuck anyone who loves the original Ghostbusters. Fuck the parents. This is about the 13-year-olds. This is about the 13 to 7-year-old demographic who've never heard of Ghostbusters, who don't know a thing about the, like, you know, it's like they don't know about the cartoon, they don't know about Slimer, they don't know anything. These are the kids. These are the ones who are gonna make their parents go see this movie.
That's horrific. That's like genuinely horrific.
Like, but that may be what they're doing. You know what I mean? It is horrific. It's like, I'd be interested to go talk to a bunch of kids that are like, and be like, you know what Ghostbusters is? And they probably all go, yeah, that new movie coming out with the girls. And it's like, no. You know, and then they'll of course, you know, do the Peter Parker thing from freaking
that Civil old War, movie. That old
be like, oh, there's an old movie. So they're gonna those kids. Sadly, now this is the really okay. This makes me sad beyond belief. Those kids are gonna think that that's Ghostbusters, and when they see the original Ghostbusters, they're gonna compare that to this, like we're comparing this to that, and they're going to be like, yeah, but like, you know, who are these characters? Venkman, who's that? He's like, that's not like the original characters that we know.
That actually might work better in Ghostbusters' favor. I mean, how many times do you go look something up because of something you heard that was similar, or like how many times you hear about a song that's a cover and like, oh, I kind of like that song. Let me hear the original. Like, oh my God, the original is so much better.
Yeah, but kids like, don't do that.
I don't know, man.
Kids will just take whatever they're given.
Kids are a little bit smarter now than we were, man. I mean, they have Google at their fingertips. Like,
yeah, like, but if you show a kid the trailer for the Ghostbusters and say, oh, by the way, you've never heard of this, but there's a movie called Ghostbusters from 32 years ago, and then you show them the trailer, and the trailer for the original Ghostbusters nowadays, if you watch it, it's not like they didn't make trailers great in the 80s.
No.
It's like they either gave away too much or they like just
and indistinctly too. Like, here's things that happens. Go buy it. Wait, what?
Yeah, or they either give you so much, or they give you like not enough, so you'd be like, I'm not sure what that movie was about.
Yeah, that could be any movie. What are you talking about?
So it's like, and they'll just be like, yeah, no thanks. I'll go see that new one with the you know, the girls that looks fun. Like this is the only thing I can think they're doing is it's screw everybody else. It's all about the kids, and doesn't matter that their parents are not going to like the movie.
And again, if that is what they are doing, they are in such deep shit. If they're going, all right, fuck it, we'll just aim for the kids. July 7th, you have a movie that people may not know the name. They're going to know the movie by July 10th.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's going to be that where kids are going to get fired up. Like you said, the word of mouth is going to be huge for that. And then by you know, all right, so maybe you do get lucky and win July 15th weekend. The week after, you have July 22nd with Ice Age 5.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about Jurassic World and Inside Out. Inside Out came in second place how many times before
Yeah,
it
it was like
finally
what,
beat
like
Jurassic
4?
World? Like,
3 or 4? I think it was 3.
uh,
And then it finally beat Jurassic World.
kids movies, they stick, man.
Oh,
It's
especially in the summer because kids, like,
yep.
they're off school.
I don't.
So,
It doesn't look good, man. Like if that's your angle,
yeah.
like that is so. And not only is it stupid, dude, move it. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know.
too late.
Put in
If that's
some,
your angle, move it.
but yeah, they're not going to. They're going to leave it there because
No,
there's like, I would, yeah, because if that's your thing, because like I think if they were like, let's make a movie that the parents who love Ghostbusters from their childhood are going to love and their kids are going to love, I think they've missed if that was their original goal, they've missed the mark. So I think if it was they've either scrapped that or they've literally just missed it. But there's a good chance they were just like, listen, we know there's no way we can recreate Ghostbusters because recreating Ghostbusters is impossible. So instead, let's make it a kids movie and just throw Ghostbusters name on there, and hope for the best. It's like thing is like I'm sure someone thought this was a brilliant idea, and I'm like sure halfway through filming, someone went, I don't know if it's going to work like what we thought it was going to work. And like you said, now putting it in that date where it's like kids movie, making it a kids movie, and then 2 big adult movies right after it. So it's like, anyone who doesn't like, are you seriously going to tell me that like if you're an adult and you're on a date the weekend after Ghostbusters came out, so it's the next weekend, you're going to be like, oh, we could go see Star Trek 3 or we could go see Ghostbusters. You're gonna pick Star Trek 3. Oh, we could go see Star Trek 3, or we could go see Ghostbusters or Jason Bourne, a movie that is like the 5th movie that has Matt Damon coming back, and the trailers have looked pretty decent for. And no one's gonna pick Ghostbusters as an adult by themselves. They're only gonna go with the kids.
dude. How about this? Sony almost kind of needs this movie too. I don't know what comes up. Oh, Sony has Angry Birds, which I don't think is going to do well.
I don't think it's gonna.
So there's that. That's coming up this weekend, tomorrow. So for the top studios, and Sony's considered one of the top 6 for the record. So far of the top, all the movies at the box office for 2016. The top film from Sony is in 18th place, and that's Risen with $36 million.
Wow.
Risen, the Jesus movie.
Oh, really? That's a big thing.
Wow. Yeah, Fox is in first place domestic right now. Holy shit. Fox, Disney, Warner, Disney, Fox, Universal, Paramount, Lionsgate, Focus, which is technically Universal. Oh, TriStar, that's technically Sony. I take that back. 12th place, Miracles from Heaven, another Christian movie. Well, listen, the only time they make money is when they talk about Jesus.
Although I don't think they talk too much about Jesus in that film, from what I've seen.
Well, maybe Ghostbusters.
We're going to talk about Jesus and Ghostbusters.
Oh, I'm being. Is the movie over already, guys?
What movie?
Viz and Blu-ray Dan have jumped into the chat.
Yeah, and they're saying yawn, and then they said my name, so I've typed in.
They're getting me back because they were taking too long to start the movie, and I said yawn. It's their first time. They had a stream where they did a fuck, what's that C word I'm thinking of? Commentary. And I was like, come on, guys, let's get going. And there were 6 guys talking at the same time. I was playing around, but obviously they are too. I know they are. Hey guys.
And then Jenny said, bearded movie guy with an exclusion. So I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Now, apparently, Oblate Sherrod says there are no black people. There are people with different shades of brown. Okay, I'm cool with that. So if we're talking like that, then the darker shade brown people don't seem to be getting the good roles and can't apparently be educated in this movie universe.
Yeah. Well, they
If that's the case.
they play against stereotypes, and it's just like,
Yeah.
There's these two sides, and they'll never cross and then make this new thing, because you're playing into stereotype and you're trying to avoid something. But like if you want to get to like younger black people, the gripe is, well, that person isn't acting like a true black person. A true black person would say blank.
Yeah.
And it's not true, but like it's weird to play to younger black kids, or urban audiences is what they like to call it.
Yeah.
Like you have to stereotype. So it's like this gigantic circle that it's just I don't know. Somebody's going to have to defeat it and figure out how to do it, because it is possible. I mean, Star Wars didn't need droid please in it.
Yeah,
it would have been fine without it. Either you're a black guy who likes Star Wars, or you're not. Droid please isn't going to make somebody into Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny, but you know,
it didn't.
First time it happened, it was funny. It was like, oh, okay. It's a black guy that said droid please. Okay, yeah. I was like, or a very dark shade of brown, I guess. If there are no black people, there are no black people. It's like everyone's a shade of brown. That's cool. That doesn't bother me. So I'm a kind of lighter shade of brown. CP's lighter than I am, because I tan really well.
I'm peach.
You know, that's.
If you have a marker at home, I'm peach.
It was so funny when my daughter was let's say 4. She went to the YMCA daycare, and one morning we were driving her into daycare, and she went, yesterday they taught us about race, and she's like, I'm like, oh, did they? Cool. And she goes, there are Chinese people and there are black people and there are lots of different types of races. And I said, what are you? She goes, I'm white as snow. I was just like, what? Okay.
Is that what they taught her in school?
They taught her she was white as snow, and I'm like, oh, all right, okay. It was interesting.
That's what they taught her in school?
Yeah, this is like daycare kind of school.
But still.
I was like, you know, and I'm like, no, they taught her like everyone was equal. But it made me laugh the way she said it, because she's like a little 4-year-old. She goes, I'm white as snow. And I'm like, okay. Just like, it's interesting. So, I don't know. Race is a hard thing, because it's like, I don't. Like, well, I hate when someone says, "Oh, it's like my buddy Tim was just saying." Someone said to him, "You're good looking for a white guy," and he was just like, "Excuse me." He's like, "I'm good looking for any color. It doesn't matter." It's nothing to do with the fact I'm a white guy. And I had someone say to me once, like, "Oh, that guy's a really good actor for a black guy," and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
That guy's a good actor for any race. It doesn't matter what color his skin is.
When you like, you should like to get an idea of just like a good character is a good character. It never is about race or anything like that, race or sex or anything. Like if you like, I just restarted Lost, the television series, and they talk about how all these people read for these different roles, and it's like, you know, the certain characters, they were the same character with all these different faces reading the role. But the character was a good character. It didn't matter who it was, you know, speaking the roles. It was just the fact that the script was good, and they achieved it well with these great characters. Yeah. It doesn't have to be black, white, female, male. It's just, if it's a good character, it's a good character. Like, it doesn't. You don't have to lower it to stereotypes and things.
It is funny. Like especially with the whitewashing that's being talked about lately and stuff. My coworker, I mean, one time you may see him walk behind me, I don't know. He was talking. He won't go. He's like, I won't go see a movie if the person who is supposed to be in the movie should be one color and is another color. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, I didn't see Daredevil because Kingpin was black. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
I said they picked Michael Clark Duncan because he was the biggest man that was an actor that could pull off that role. I said, like, there were no actors that were his equivalent size. And I said, it didn't bother me one bit. And he's like, and I'm like, it didn't bother me one bit that he was black.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but he's Kingpin's white. And I'm just like, okay. And he's like, well, like, would you be okay if they cast Black Panther to be a white guy? And I'm like, well, that's a bit different. I'm like, Black Panther's a character that his whole thing is he's from Africa. He's an African prince that, you know, it's part of his character. I said,
right. It's literally in the name.
It's in the name, but I'm like,
cast Spider-Man as a girl.
Nothing about Kingpin's character in the, like, as far as I ever read, was the fact that anything had to do with him being white. He just was a white character, right? Like, so there's a difference between a character that happens to be white, and it's just like, and they've cast a black man because he's a, whereas in this character, a lot of it plays to the fact that, like, he's from an African nation and is black. I'm like, you can't just throw that in there, you know. But, and then he was like, well, I won't go see a movie because of this, and because of that, like, you know. And I'm like, well, then don't go see the new Doctor Strange movie because they put a white woman, like, they put a white woman in an old Asian man's role. It's like, you can't go see it. I'm like, you can't do both. I'm like, you know, it's like, you can't, just because they put a white person in, it doesn't make it okay. It's like, so I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know.
It's just I don't know. We might get another trailer, but judging, I mean, we were. I don't know. We were joking. We were kind of serious about it when they said they needed to do something.
Oh, I totally was serious that they needed to do something.
So, and
this again, my daughters got sold on. They went from I don't want to see that movie at all to I will watch that movie now. Now they're still not. I need to go see this movie. Like,
right.
Strangely enough, though, they're not like that for X-Men too. Like, for the new X-Men movie, like they were like that for Civil War. They were like that for Batman v Superman. They, like, you know, they were like that for Deadpool, which they're still not allowed to watch. And there's my oldest daughter, who's 14 now, is still trying to convince me. She's like, "Come on, Dad, let me see Deadpool." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I don't think X-Men's going to be that good either. But
well, apparently, I don't know, man. Every real review I've heard for it said it's actually a lot better than people seem to be giving it credit for. I'm just not excited for it. I'm just like, okay, it's another X-Men movie. Oh, they put it in the 80s this time, so okay. You got younger people, I guess. But, like, there's nothing that's excited me for it. But I'll end up seeing it, I'm sure. But I don't know.
Well, with the changes that they did to Ghostbusters, the trailer, with whatever adjustments they made, what differences? What are you predicting for Ghostbusters with the changes? I
think this helped. So I think their opening will be bigger than it would have been, for sure, because they've at least probably turned some people on to the fact that, okay, there is some funny stuff in there that we didn't see before, and you're hoping that they didn't use up every funny thing from the movie in the trailer. So assuming that, and assuming, like I said, I think they're marketing this to kids, not adults. I think generally kids will want to see it because, like, maybe that's why the brightly pressed pastel ghost, like, you know, it's like, ooh, look at the pretty colors. It's like, for me, it just looks like the CGI looks awful, but it's like, I guess that's very specific. So maybe it's literally appealing towards children, but I think it'll do better than it would have done. But it's still, children don't have money. So it, like, you know, my kids said they'll see it. They didn't say they would pay. So I still have to pay for them to go see it, which means parents have to be willing to see it. So it's going to make more than it would have made, but it's still, I don't know, if it makes 40, its opening weekend, I think it'll be a miracle. I could be wrong though. Like, obviously, like, what do you think? What do you think it's going to make opening weekend?
Domestic. See, I don't know. 40. I think is incredible. You know, I really think 40.
Nice.
I was just gonna say, I think 40's incredibly generous. I need to. 2015. Let me see. Oh no, monthly.
Again, it all depends on what the reviews are beforehand, right? Because like we don't get to see it. Like you may too, because you sometimes get screening passes. So I'm not that lucky.
You mean
but,
early?
yeah. So the people who see it early, like the reviewers on YouTube and the regular reviewers for like ABC television and all that crap, if they say it's good, it'll do way better than, if they come out going, this is a fun movie, take your kids to see it, that's going to sway a heck of a lot of people. But if they come out going, this is exactly what you think it is from the trailer, yeah, then it's less than 40 easily. So a lot's going to depend on that. Like, is this really that bad? So I don't know.
All right. So last year Minions opened the second weekend of July at 115 million.
Holy crap!
I think Lives of Pets will be something like that. It's high 90s at least.
Really, that high? Eh?
That's what I think. And then the third weekend of July, Ant-Man opened to 57, and Trainwreck opened to 30. That was in third place that weekend.
Trainwreck didn't have like Trainwreck is an adult.
That was a hard R.
It's like a very hard R.
And then the weekend after that was Pixels. So Pixels was a late July release, and it opened at second with 24. Ant-Man at 24. I'm gonna say 30.
Yeah.
Opening domestic 30.
I'm going to stick with 40 just because I think there'll be some positive buzz and kids will just be like, Mommy, Daddy, let's go see it. But again, it's like my daughters even, like, I think I'm being generous in the fact that my daughters don't even care that much that they're bugging me about it. That they're like, oh, we have to go see this and stuff. And like I said, I'm going to see it on a Tuesday. If I have to see this movie, which I think my wife actually may be like, I'll sit this one out. Like, I won't be shocked if I'm taking my daughters by myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to see it, I'm not paying full price. There's no way that I'm paying. And is it in 3D?
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm like, this seems like a movie they would make in 3D, that they would put in 3D with all the ghost effects and stuff.
Yeah, with that long striding step over the. Yeah. I think that would have been.
I think this would be 3D. So if they're 3D, of course they're going to try and.
Yeah, you know what? If it is 3D, that definitely tweaks the numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
But
this seems like a movie that like they would. Yeah, I don't know. I'm advertising about 3D until like right before the movie.
I don't know. I don't.
So we wouldn't. I don't know if we could find that out now.
You know, it might be interesting if Angry Birds tanks,
which I think it will.
Oh, yeah, 15 million if it's really lucky this weekend. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do after that, because I don't think Sony's got big property. I don't know. They have to read the writing on the wall at this point that something's going wrong with Ghostbusters. Unless, of course, they figure out something by trailer 3, if they're even going to make a trailer 3.
There is probably some executives at Sony right now high-fiving each other thinking they've done a great job with this new trailer. They're like, did you see it? It's great. People are loving it. And it's like, people love it. Trust me. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, no. And it's like that one guy in the room who's like, I don't think people like it. And, it's going to be one of those things where I think people don't love it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's it for this. It was kind of a slapdash thing because we were just talking about this
like
a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And if something else comes up, we'll bring it to you. This is the show where we kind of talk about, not the movies so much as we do the business of movies and what will fail, what will succeed. Peter, anything to talk about before you close?
I just hit 400 subscribers, so I'm all happy. So thank you.
Sir.
If anyone subscribed to me, thank you.
And if you didn't, do it now.
If you didn't, I'm nice. I'm worth. I occasionally make good videos. Check my channel out. It's called Bearded Movie Guy. It's real simple, all one word. It has me, who's a bearded movie guy. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be doing a Q&A video as a thank you to anyone who wanted to ask a question. Which it's so funny. My youngest daughter's like, she's like, are you gonna do a Q&A? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you got to. I'm like, why? She goes, because I want to ask questions. I'm just like, we're sitting, like you're sitting across from me. You can ask me right now. And she's just like, no, I want to ask on YouTube.
That's funny.
I'm just like, okay. So, but yeah, so I got to do a video tomorrow probably where I just talk about doing Q&A and let anyone ask Q&A questions and stuff. But yeah, that's check out my channel, check out CP's channel. But you're already checking out CP's channel.
Here.
So you're here already, so you know what he's like. He's awesome. But yeah, he's the man. No, he's not keeping anyone down though, so don't worry about that. I have to qualify that whenever I say someone's the man. It's like, but he's not keeping anyone down. Well, because the man keeps people down usually, and I'm just like,
oh yeah, I'm not that the man.
Yeah, that's a different man.
Yeah. All right, so I don't know. More soon, someday. I don't know.
Yeah, when me and CP get bored and text each other, and be like, "Hey, you want to do something on YouTube?" Eventually,
I'm going to break the camera out and do some produced material. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
But yeah. Bye, guys.
Later.